Press 0 to ask any questions. Turning this over to the mayor. For those of you who are on Facebook and you have questions and you want to call in, please feel free to dial 862-213-3758. That's 862-213-3758. And again, press 0 to ask any questions.
Yes. Thank you, Rachel. Again, to all of our residents that are with us tonight, thank you so much for joining us again for our weekly update meeting. We are really honored that all of you have been really hanging in with us for the past 13 weeks and getting this information. We have a great meeting tonight. We're going to be talking about the voting procedure, because we know that during this COVID-19, this pandemic, that the election kind of changed. So we are very honored to have our Essex County clerk with us, Chris Durkins. But before we even get started, I just want to thank everybody for joining us yesterday at our Peace But Not Patience walk and rally. It was fantastic for all the people that came out and walked with us, and we had some great speakers. I just want to thank East Orange, who really showed that we can be the model of other cities in terms of making sure when we have our walks and our rallies that we know how to do it right. So I'm just so grateful for everyone who came out. Again, as I reminded everybody yesterday, even though we walked and then we came up and we had the rally, we have to still keep that momentum going, continue to work in the community, continue to get involved in the community, to continue to come out to the council meetings and get involved on a county level, the state level, in terms of issues and policies and different things that's going on. So again, do not let that momentum get away from you. Let's keep going, although we're out here to really protest the injustice that what happened to George Floyd and so many other men and women who have been affected by police brutality. But again, with that, we're going to give out the numbers tonight because the numbers are still kind of going up. So I'm going to ask Dr. Griffin really to give out the numbers per ward, and then give out the numbers in terms of some numbers that you can call for our testing. And then, Chris, we're going to get right into a conversation with you about this voting, so just hang in there with us, okay? Dr. Griffin?
Good evening, East Orange. As the mayor said, we know that we had Peace But Not Patience rally yesterday, and for some that's the only rally that they'll be attending, and for others they might be attending more than one. And so we just wanted to make sure that everybody remembers that even while you're attending rallies or participating in marches, that you're continuing to wear your face coverings, you're actively distancing yourself. It's not easy, but it's something that's still very important. And it's also important to continue to use hand sanitizer, and then most of all, try to get tested after the rally, because you're in a group, in a large group of individuals, and we know that, as the mayor said, the coronavirus is still circulating here within the city. We have not yet experienced, like some other areas, a day or even a week where we haven't had a positive case to report. And currently, we, within the city, have a total of 2,060 positive cases and 204 confirmed deaths. In the second ward, 342 positive cases. In the third ward, 423 positive cases. In the fourth ward, 432 positive cases. And in the fifth ward, 413 positive cases. So again, we're watching the numbers. We can't stress enough the importance of testing, because if you get tested, it allows us to continue to help the community remain safe. It helps us also make sure that we can intervene so that we can monitor and manage the spread. We also know that our state is starting to reopen. And so as that happens, we want to make sure that this community remains protected. So as you're engaging with individuals, still pay attention to your symptoms, how you're feeling when you're out and about. Don't get too comfortable with the idea that everything is starting to reopen. Continue to protect yourself and follow the necessary guidelines.
Thank you, Dr. Griffin. So with that, East Orange, that means that we should still be on this precautious piece in the city of East Orange. I know that folks have been calling, asking when we're going to start opening up some of our parks, but we're almost there. But again, our concern is that with these numbers going up, that we have to make sure we continue to keep ourselves safe and healthy. And we're going to get started, but I just want to also thank our Essex County Clerk, Chris Durkins. Chris, thank you very much for joining us yesterday here in the city of East Orange at our Peace But Not Patience walk. We really appreciate you coming out. It was really nice day to have you. So Chris, listen, I know that there's so many folks been calling us and asking us the process of this new ballot and election. So I just want you to take the floor. If you want to do an intro, you could, but you can go right into telling folks what's going to be the process, how it's going to be the process, you know, the deadline, when is the election. So Chris, welcome to our weekly meeting.
Thank you, Mayor. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the invitation.
Yes.
And I will give an intro. It's a privilege to serve the great people of Essex County. And I will say that when times are tough, true leadership stands up. And I want to thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
For standing up for the great people of East Orange. And you've done that every day. And I'm so honored to be here at your weekly town hall meeting. It was an honor to join you yesterday in the March for Justice. And at that march, I appreciate you allowing me to say a few words. And, what I did say was that the definition of peace is freedom from discomfort.
Yes.
And we don't need freedom from discomfort until there is peace.
Yes.
So that's very important to know. And I will say also that whenever I meet someone who's 18 years of age or older, I tell them they're not an American until they vote.
That's right.
That may sound kind of harsh, but I believe that. Because it's our debt to society, it's our debt to our community, it's our giving back, what we need to do to be one community. And that's why it's important that everyone has the right to vote. Not that everyone votes, not so everyone so much votes, but everyone has the right to vote.
Yes.
That's what we need. And people have struggled and fought for so many years, from the founding of our country to today, every day in between. People have struggled and fought for your right to vote, and you must appreciate that right to vote. And here's what's important about voting. It is that one moment in time, that couple days a year, where we are all equal. Whether you're rich or poor, doesn't matter your race, your religion, doesn't matter your status in life. We are all equal in that moment, in that private moment, free from fear of retribution, fear of, anyone's, coming down on us. That is our moment in time. When we are truly, and as you said, Mayor, the governor has issued an executive order. It's important because we're in a pandemic, so we need to, take a different path. Instead of the polling sites and voting machines, we're going mostly vote by mail. We did that on May 12th, and we're going to do that for July 7th. Every registered Democrat and every registered Republican are being mailed a vote by mail ballot, and they've been mailed a ballot. So every East Orange Democrat and East Orange Republican will be receiving a vote by mail ballot in the next 4 days. So be on the lookout for a vote by mail ballot. It has a red band across the center of the ballot that says official mail-in ballot. So make sure you're on the lookout for that. All unaffiliated voters, there's 40% of the voters are unaffiliated. They're not affiliated with a party. They will be mailed a vote by mail application. And if they want to be a part of this primary, they need to fill out that application and send it back to the county clerk's office, and we will mail them a ballot. On that application, they have to tell us if they want to vote in the Democratic primary or the Republican primary, and we will mail them a ballot. In the ballot, in the package, when you get your ballot to your residence, in that ballot you will have your ballot to vote on, which you need to vote in black pen or blue pen or pencil. Can't use any other color because it might not read. So black pen, blue pen, or pencil. There will be, a insert as to why this is a vote by mail election, that you didn't request this vote by mail ballot, but you're getting it because of COVID-19. There will be a quick tip sheet that tells you step by step how to vote the ballot. There will be a smaller certification envelope. It has a flap on it, and you should not detach that flap. That's a perforated part on the top, and you should not tear it off.
Right.
That's important. That contains your information. That contains your name, your address, and your signature. Most importantly, your signature. You need to put your signature on that certification. You put your ballot, your completed ballot, inside the envelope. You put it inside the return envelope. You seal it. You don't need postage. So no postage necessary. You can bring it to your post office. You could bring it to a mailbox. There's going to be a secure mailbox, lockbox mailbox in East Orange for voters to put their vote by mail ballot inside of, and that will be picked up every day by the Board of Elections. Or you can bring your ballot back in person to the Board of Elections if you don't want to bypass the post office and bring it right back to the Board of Elections. You can do that. There's going to be a limited amount of polling places throughout Essex County. That's being finalized right now. There will not be sample ballots mailed to voters, but there will be postcards. Every registered voter will receive a postcard that tells them that this is a mostly vote-by-mail election. It'll tell them where their polling site is or polling sites. And each Orange voter will get multiple polling sites on their postcard. And it'll tell them that they can view a sample ballot at EssexClerk.com. And EssexClerk.com also has Q&A, any frequently asked questions that you want to look into, all the sample ballots. It has a video on there of explaining how to vote by mail. At the polling place, you can only vote provisional ballot. This is a paper ballot election. So you can either vote by mail or you can vote on a provisional paper ballot at your polling site. This actually gives you another chance to vote if you did not vote by mail. You then have election day to vote on a provisional paper ballot, and that provisional paper ballot will go back to the county, and we'll wait to see, 7 days, we'll wait to see if you did vote by mail. If you didn't vote by mail, then your provisional ballot will count. So you have 7 days. So July, get the ballot as soon as possible. As soon as you get the ballot, vote it, send it back. But the ballot needs to be postmarked by Election Day, July 7th or prior. We're hoping for prior. Right there?
Chris, that was excellent. I just want you to go over that last sentence one more time. When people get the ballot, they do what again?
They send it right in. They vote it right away. You vote your ballot right away and get it in the mail. Either hand deliver it back to the Board of Elections or bring it into the post office or put it in the mailbox and get it back in. And we can track if your ballot was returned and received by the Board of Elections. So it's important that you get it in soon because we can verify whether or not your ballot has been received by the Board of Elections on a daily basis.
Thank you so much for that, Chris, because, I know that there's some uncertainties out there with this new process of how we have to vote, and I'm just so happy that you was able to come on to our meeting tonight because people really have to understand that although it's a little different process, that it's still so important to vote. So Chris, I do want to ask, right? We have a lot of young people out here, right? Because I know when I was young, and the day I turned 18, my mother made sure that she had a voter registration form for me. Well, she did it for all of us, my brother, my sister, and for our young people out there, give them the information on now. You can be 17 years old and fill out all the information, and when you turn 18, so I just want you to give the background on our young people and also how important for them to also be a part of this process.
Very important, Mayor. Thank you for bringing that up. Because now, if you're 17, you can register to vote. It's called pending 17. So you register to vote, and when you turn 18, you become your registration becomes effective in the system. So it's waiting. It has an effective date. But when you turn 17, when you turn 18, and then you're able to vote, but you can register when you're 17, which is very important. And also, thank you for bringing that up, because the voter registration deadline is this coming Tuesday, June 16th. And the City Hall, the outside of City Hall, the city clerk, Cynthia Brown, will be setting up a table all day up until 9 o'clock at night to accept any voter registration. And it could be a new voter registration, or it could be a change of address. That's also very important, change of address, because these vote-by-mail ballots are going to be sent to your registered address. You might not be there anymore. So you need to update your address in the voter registration system so that we can then send you your second ballot to the correct address. So that's what's important. And as you said, Mayor, think about this for a moment. We're celebrating the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage, of women's right to vote. Like you said about your mother, I mean, think about that. Women were the last people allowed to vote in this country. Just 100 years ago, 100 short years ago. And they fought and bled for the right to vote. They understand more than anybody.
Yeah, and they still fighting. They're still fighting,
every
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Those barriers put up in front of everybody, and so they're still fighting because they know to have your voice heard, in your community, to be a part of it. And I think it's so important for everyone to have a stake, in your government, a stake in the direction of your government, and that's what's important. And there's not just candidates on the ballot. There's ballot questions. There's so much involved in the ballot.
Yes.
There's so many multiple federal, state, county, local ballot questions. I can't tell you how valuable it is to be a part of the community that way by voting.
Right. So Chris, our seniors, right? Give the information on how our seniors, in reference to how they're voting by, the machine, the voting machine. Can you give us some update on the machines and how they have to get familiar with the VBM machine?
Right, the VBM.
Yeah.
I know. It's very interesting because New Jersey likes to go to the polls, right? I like to go to the polls. I like to go to the voting machine, just because I don't want a third party in between. I don't want the post office in between me and my ballot being counted. Nothing against the post office, but I want to put my vote in on the machine. So here's the difference. When you go to the polls and vote, they open up the page to your name and your address, and your signature is right there in front of you. So you look at your signature, how you registered way back when. You might have changed your signature, but you can match your signature when you see it right there. You're like, oh, that's how I used to sign, or maybe that's your kid's signature. Some people it's not. So you sign the poll book. You then go in and you vote. The voting machine does not allow you to overvote, right? So if you had a choice of 3 candidates for council, or 1 candidate for, you can't vote for 2 in the machine. It won't allow you. But in the paper ballot, and that's an issue, we have a lot of that, a lot of overvote. People voting for more offices, more positions than are allowed for that office.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that just doesn't count, right? So, and also the issue is, if you did not update your signature, they verify, when your ballot comes back, your vote-by-mail ballot comes back, they blow up your signature, how you're registered to vote, when you registered to vote, and they match how you registered to vote in the system with your signature and how you sign your vote-by-mail certification envelope.
Yeah.
And they see, if it's not close, if it's way off, you're going to get disenfranchised.
Yes.
And that's a major issue. But if you go to the polls there's no chance of you being disenfranchised, right? Because you look at that poll book, you see your signature, you sign right next to it, and you make your vote, and you can't overvote, and you cast your vote. And again, in other states, they've updated their signature through the years. So they're much farther along in updated signatures for vote by mail than we are in New Jersey. That's and also there's laws in other states, like Oregon and Washington, where the Board of Elections has to notify you.
Right.
And give you 7 days, notify you that your signature didn't match, and you have 7 days to correct it. In New Jersey, you don't get notified until after the election is over, after the results are certified, after your vote didn't count. So it's important that people know if there's an issue with their ballot before the election is certified.
Right. So, Chris, I'm a senior. I need help. What number do I call? What number do I call to get help? If I'm a senior and I need help, who do I call, Chris?
I would call the city clerk. I would call the county clerk's office, which is 973-621-4922. I would call the Board of Elections, 973-621-5071. I would call the Secretary of State's office, which I don't have the number, on the tip of my tongue right now. But I will tell you that I know there's going to be a lot of action as far as pushing people to get their ballots in. If you don't send your ballot in, you're going to be notified by text, by email. There's going to be a lot of threats as far as pushing you to get your ballot in, and there's going to be information, emails, and phone numbers to call. That's what's important. But I would call, if you're in charge, I would call the city clerk's office.
Yes, Chris, thank you for that. We got a couple of calls, Chris, but I know that you have a video out that is explaining the whole election process and the ballot process. We're going to make sure that we push that video. You did an excellent job with that video too, Chris. I commented on Facebook when I saw it. But I think that'll give folks just an idea also what they need to do. And I know from the East Orange side, we're going to do everything we can to make sure people have the information. But Chris, we're going to take a couple of calls, right? Rachel, I know we have some folks online. We got Dr. Griffin here this evening, Dr. Mehta here. So those are on the phone. You still can ask those questions to all our panel tonight. So Rachel, can I get some calls for our clerk, please?
We sure can. I just want to start with the Facebook one.
Yes.
I'm going to start with one from Dr. Griffin. From Orpheus Brown Gibbons on Facebook to Dr. Griffin. Are there any news in opening up nursing homes?
Nursing homes currently within the city are open. They have some restrictions as far as visitors are concerned, but they are still open. So if you have any specific questions about a nursing home here within the city, I would definitely encourage you to call them. Right now they're still taking precautions as well, and they're making sure that the residents within the nursing homes are safe. So if you're referencing the visitors, you can definitely, and if visitors are allowed and how many and the different restrictions that they might have, I would encourage you to call the specific nursing home that you're referencing. But they are still open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just going to remind everybody on the call as you press 0, you can ask a question. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, if you want to ask a question, dial right on in and press 0. That number is 862-213-3758. That number is 862-213-3758. And so, Chris, we have a question for you. And someone wants to know, why do you have to state if you're a Democrat or a Republican? So can you explain what unaffiliates are and what the primary is?
Sure. That's a great question. We have a closed primary in New Jersey, which means that you have to be a member of the Democratic Party or the Republican Party to vote in their primary. So if you're a registered Democrat, you can only vote in the Democratic primary. If you're a registered Republican, you can only vote in the Republican primary. If you're an unaffiliated voter, which you're not affiliated to a party, you can choose to vote in either primary, and when you make your decision, you automatically become a member of that party. So once you sign off that you want to vote in the Democratic primary or the Republican primary, you become a member of that party. Now, on our voter registration form, you can then go back to unaffiliated. You can change your party every day if you like. So our voter registration form is a change of party form, where the next day after the primary, you could go back to unaffiliated, or you could change either Democratic or Republican party. But you can't vote the primary without being a member of that party.
Thank you. And now, again, if anybody has questions, please press 0. If you got thumbs up the line, you want to call back in. Our number is 862-213-3758. I'm going to bring in Janice, who has a question about in-person voting and the question. Janice?
Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm so surprised I was selected to ask the question. I've been on these calls for a while. But thank you. I was just curious as to the processes they're going to put in place to ensure that proper social distancing and perhaps even cleaning of the voter poll booth takes place. Who's responsible for that, and how they're going to ensure our safety at the polls?
Okay, that's a great question. And yes, we're very mindful of that. And each polling place will be cleaned before Election Day and throughout. And the board workers will have the PPE available to them. They will have to wear PPE and be protected for their own health concerns and for the voters' health concerns. Voters must wear a mask when entering the polling place. Whether or not there's been discussion on whether or not the temperature should be taken, but the issue with that, the Attorney General is saying that even if they have a temperature, you might have a hard time denying someone the right to vote. But everyone has to wear a mask. Everyone will be social distance in the polling place. The polling places will be big enough to accommodate many people that can remain 6 feet apart. There are no voting machines. So understand that. There are only paper provisional ballots. The disabled voters can utilize the audio-visual component of a machine, but only the audio-visual component, which they would then make their choices on a handheld device. So for them, there's no electronic voting machine with a push button. It's not that. They'll have a headset and a handheld device making your choices with a handheld device if you are disabled. If you're not disabled, you have to vote in a provisional paper ballot. But absolutely, our health officer, county health officer, which I know Mayor Green has a health officer on the town hall, Maya Lordo, the county health officer, who is, she's making sure that all of the steps for health concerns are in place for the polling place.
Yes, thank you for that. And I'm going to ask Dr. Griffin to chime in on that in terms of our process also very quickly. Then we're going to go right back to our calls.
Yes, so we actually are also in communication with the county health officer, and we make sure that we are also, any entity actually that's involved in the process is following the necessary guidelines. I know that we discussed that even there will be an opportunity for individuals to come and make sure that they are registered if they have questions also about their voting status. And so even where City Hall is concerned, we make sure that the facility is cleaned, it's constantly disinfected, and the same holds true with the wearing of masks as well. We want to make sure that everyone who is working remains safe, as well as those who are visiting.
Right. And Rachel, just very quickly to Janice, in the future that you don't get online, the calls, we really appreciate you for hanging in there with us. If you have any questions for the mayor's office, please call 973-266-5151, and we're going to help you the best way we can. You can ask for Justin Brown, or you can ask for Aja Baldwin, Mayor's Constituent Services. Rachel, let's get another question.
Sure. So I'm going to bring in Ms. Linda Foster, who has a question about how do you know to tell you to receive your ballot. Ms. Foster?
What was the question?
How do you?
My question is, how will we know that our vote or our ballot is being counted and received by the election board?
Okay, Chris.
How will we know that?
Okay,
Great question.
yes.
And we provide that information. That's public information. So you can email, so people on ethicsclerk.com.
Chris?
Yes. Okay. So we provide that. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Now we're done. Yeah.
Okay. So that's public information. Anyone who has returned a ballot and has been scanned in, because every returned ballot has a barcode on it that contains your name and address. And when the ballot gets returned to the Board of Elections, it gets scanned in, and the information gets stored in the file that the ballot has been returned. That information is public information. We readily email that information out to citizens who want that file, to campaigns that want the file, candidates, anyone who wants that file. We send them out 5 pounds, telling them, here's the names and addresses of everyone who has returned their ballot. Not returned, but the Board of Elections has received their ballot. You know, there might be an issue. I'll tell you, here's the big issue. The issue is not in the ballots going out to the voters, because that's going to be a quick process. I think East Orange is going to get their ballot in the next 2 days, really. Friday, Saturday, they're going to be getting their ballot. When they return the ballot, when voters return the ballot, that's where the issue comes in, because the post office is quarantining mail. So they're not touching mail for a short period of time, and then they're delivering it. So it might be 3, 4, 5 days before your ballot is returned to the Board of Elections and scanned in as received. But on a daily basis, we provide those files to the public, anyone who requests it, to know whose ballot has been received.
Right, Chris,
Great, thank you. I have a question. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Rachel.
No, I have a different question for Dr. Griffith, sir, so if you wanted to comment on that.
I didn't hear.
She has a separate question for me.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Yeah. So this one is from Facebook. It's from Sabaya Corbett. It's Dr. Griffith. And she wants to know, are the testing period and testing sites going to be extended?
Currently, tomorrow is the final day for our site at 161 Elmwood. So if you are interested in getting tested, definitely make an appointment. You can also visit the site, and we'll be able to support you. We will take a little bit of a break. We do know that the county is still providing support for testing. We know the hospital also has provided some support as well. So there are local resources. And what we are doing is, even though we've been able to go into all of the senior buildings thus far here within the city and offer testing, we may take a little bit of a break before we offer that service again.
Right. So again, all y'all building owners and managers, you gotta get those tenants in your building, have them come down and get tested. It's important. So help us with this process. You know, it's so important. I just had to put that in because we got a lot of building owners and managers who are not affording the tenants in their buildings to get that information and come down and get tested. You know, that should be a decision that the tenants should make. It shouldn't be a decision that the building owners or managers is not complying with. So please call my office if you're having any problem. If your building did not provide information in terms of where you can go and get tested, and we'll definitely make sure Dr. Griffin and her office get that information. But we are asking and requiring folks to get tested is important.
And the one thing that I'll add, Mayor, also is that for any resident that is having difficulty, they can still contact us and at the health department, contact us at the mayor's office, and we'll be able to assist you in linking you with a provider that provides that service.
Right,
So
Dr.
even
Griffin, give
though-
me your number.
Absolutely. Even though the site might be ending tomorrow, you can call us at 973-266-5480, and we'll definitely provide you with assistance.
We're going to take a small break. We're coming back.
Yes.
Rachel, do we have another question? We got Dr. Meta here tonight.
The questions are lining up. So I'm going to bring in Janetta Smith, and here's a question about Mr. Boxes and the training of the ballot. Janetta?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
My question is, how is everybody today? Thank
We're
you.
doing great. Thank you for
My
calling
question-
in.
You're quite welcome. But my question is for Chris. She mentioned that there may be a special mailbox for the ballots, but I didn't hear her say where that mailbox may be.
Yeah,
I was wondering where it would be placed.
That's another great question. That's been slow in the process. The Board of Elections has been given 5 mailboxes from the state. These are 500-pound mailboxes that can be bolted into the ground. There's going to be 24-hour video surveillance on the mailboxes. They have not decided where these mailboxes. Now they're going to order more mailboxes, so that's 5 at a minimum. There's most likely going to be more than 10 around the county of Essex, but they have not decided yet where they will be. And I mean, it's obviously coming up on a crunch here because ballots are going to start hitting, residents' homes. So we need to have these mailbox sites, which I'll tell you, once they are named, they will be listed at EssexClerk.com. So here's what I'll say: once we have the addresses and where the mailboxes will be, they will be at EssexClerk.com, and they will also be, I know, Mayor, on your website.
Yes.
So on the city's website, if there is a mailbox in East Orange, the address will be on the city's website.
Thank you for that, Chris.
Great.
Thank you.
Can I keep going, Mayor?
Yes, keep going, Rachel.
Okay, so I'm going to bring in Patricia. Her question is about registration. Patricia?
Yeah.
Hey, Patricia.
Okay, ask your question.
Good evening. My mom never voted before, and she wants to know where to go to register to vote.
Okay, so where to go to register to vote?
Yes, she has never voted before. This will be her first time.
That's great. I mean, there's a couple ways. So she can go to EssexClerk.com and download the voter registration form at EssexClerk.com, print it out. It's prepaid postage on the form. Or the city clerk's office has the form, and she can register. I don't know if you're open, Mayor. I might be.
No, but if she call my office, we're going to do everything we can to make sure we have the voter registration form. We'll come downstairs and we'll hand it to her. So she can call my office at 973-266-5151. And if she can't get it offline, Chris, at the clerk, we'll make sure she get one here.
But also, Mayor, as I said earlier, what's important is to know that the city clerk will be out front of City Hall all day Tuesday. 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
This coming Tuesday, that's the deadline. Now, I would rely on that more than the postal service. It has to be postmarked. It has to be postmarked June 16th or prior.
Right.
For the person to register. But if it goes directly to the city clerk is an acceptance of voter registrations where she will then bring it directly to the commission of registration for that person to be registered and put in the system.
Right. And Chris, repeat that date again, June the 16th, right?
This coming Tuesday, June 16th. So there's only, 5 days left?
5 days. Not even that. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to bring in Mary Ann, because she's asked me a question about demonstrating how to use the ballot. And so, because I know you came up with some steps, I know that we have a graphic up, and I know that we have the video, but I think it's really important that we talk about this. So Mary Ann, please ask your question.
Marion? McDuffie? McDuffie, it's me? Yeah. Okay. My name is Marion McDuffie, and I have voted every time, and I know how to vote very well. But one time I did a mail-in vote, and I went down to Hall of Records and filled the form out. They did not call me till after the election to let me know that the form was not correct. Is there anyone going to be anywhere around to show the seniors how to place, not what to put on the vote, but how to place and what they should do, like don't check 2 boxes or something, and give a demonstration of how to do the vote before they mail it in? Thank you.
I appreciate that question. You know, as we said, we have the video at EssexClerk.com. There's a video, an instructional video that I did, and it shows a step-by-step process. And as I said earlier, you know, going to the polls is kind of mistake-free, right? It's pretty simple. You sign the poll book, you vote in the voting machine, you cast your vote. It doesn't allow you to vote for more, you know, candidates than you're allowed. The vote by mail ballot, you need to be more mindful of following the steps of the vote by mail ballot, because the 2 most important things in the process is voting your ballot and voting the correct amount of offices that you are available to vote for, and also signing the certification envelope. So without those 2 things, your vote doesn't count. So there's many reasons why the ballot won't count. Some people don't even return their ballot. You'd be shocked. They don't even put the ballot back in the envelope to come back. Some people don't include the certification slab, which contains your name, your address, and your signature. They rip that off and don't include it coming back. That certification that contains your signature, where your ballot goes inside the certification envelope, that signature acts as the signature that you sign at the poll book at the polling place. So that's the same thing. That's how they can verify that you are the person that voted that ballot, is by your signature. So those are the 2 most important things: your signature on the certification envelope and the ballot being voted on and being contained in that certification envelope. It goes back into the return envelope, which has prepaid postage. You put your name and address, your return name and address, on the upper left-hand side of the return envelope and send it back in, and it should count. I mean, that's the step-by-step. The only way it wouldn't count in that process is if your signature was so far off of how your registered signature is on file.
And Chris, with that, and I thank you for that, we thank you for the caller. If I registered by June the 16th, right, when will I get my ballot back? And the question is, if I registered by June the 16th, when would I get my ballot back?
Okay, so if you register by June 16th, we are then going to send ballots out as soon as people are registered in the system. So if your information was entered in the system on June 16th, registering you to vote, that same day we are mailing you a ballot. So on a daily basis, anyone who registers and comes up valid in the system as a registered voter, we are mailing them a ballot.
Great, great. Rachel, do we have any more questions? I definitely want to get Dr. Benham an opportunity to say a few words also tonight. Well, do we have any more questions?
Yeah, and this comes up on the phone. So I have a question, and this, I guess this one's for you, Mayor, from Richard Faison about opening.
Hello.
Richard?
Yeah. Richard?
Hey, Richard.
I'm a 73-year-old black male. I want to know, when are the barbershops and beauty parlors going to open?
Well, if
I'm walking around in the victory.
Mr. Richard, if you listen to our governor just yesterday, he opened up the salons and the barbershops, but again with caution. So I think that what's happening is that our barbershops have to put some things in place, but the governor, you know, he has opened it up. He is allowing the barbershops, the beauty salons, the nail salons to start opening up. So whoever is your barber, they have to go by some rules and regulations in terms of making sure that that you got to keep them safe and keep you safe. So I know as what's that, June the 22nd, all the beauty salons, hair salons, and the barber shops can open up. So can you hold off for another couple of days?
No, he's today. He's gonna have to hold up. At least he knows to open it back up.
Yeah, they open it back up, but they got to do some things around the barbers and the nail salons and the beauty salons. Yes, Rachel, what?
I have a Facebook question for Paula Johnson for Chris Durkin. I'm a registered voter, but I am not registered for either party. From what I heard, do I still need to go to my voting location to vote? Am I correct?
Chris?
To make sure you have two options to vote now. So she will be mailed a vote by mail application. So since she's not affiliated with either the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, she's going to be mailed a vote by mail application. She can fill out that application and send it back to us, and we will mail her a ballot. Or she can choose to go on election day to the polling place and vote on provisional ballot. And that provisional ballot, when she goes in there, she'll ask the board workers, I'd like to vote on the Democratic provisional ballot or a Republican provisional ballot. The board worker will give them the correct one. They'll vote that provisional ballot, and we'll go back to the county and will be counted if they didn't in fact vote by mail already.
Thank you for that, Chris. Chris, also, earlier you spoke about the voting places, right? And this year it's going to be a little more unique in terms of how people vote. Can you tell people that it don't matter what ward they're in, how they can go to any voting place? It's a little different where most people in their wards or their districts, they normally go right in their ward or their district. But this election and the primaries, it don't matter what polling site you go to vote. Can you explain that to the people very quickly?
Right, great question, Mayor. And what's interesting, it's great that you pointed out, because East Orange is odd year, right? So you guys have your council races, mayor races in odd years.
Yes.
When it comes to an even year, like 2020, it's an open field, right? So there's only one ballot for East Orange this election in even years. So East Orange voters can go to any polling place throughout the city. And on the postcard that East Orange voters receive will list every polling place in the city. If you have 6 polling places or 8 polling places throughout the city, whatever it is, it will list every polling place, and a voter has a choice to go into any of those polling places because the ballot is the same throughout the whole city.
And thank you for that. Chris, why is it so important when people complete the ballot to immediately to complete it and get it back down to your office? Why is that so important?
It's so important because then we can track when the ballot was received. Because if you vote late, your ballot might not be received, and then you get nervous, do I need to request a second ballot because it looks like maybe my ballot is lost, or maybe something happened to my ballot, it's not back at the Board of Elections, so I might need to request a second ballot. This allows you time to make sure that you vote your ballot, that you mail your ballot back in, that it gets received by the Board of Elections, and then you can rest and feel comfortable that it's being counted and that it's there at the Board of Elections.
And that's interesting, Chris, and because when people do mail in their ballots or send their ballots back, when they don't hear anything, they get kind of a little nervous because so many people want to make sure that they vote count, right? And if I was that person within a week, I felt like, I'm not hearing anything, and I wonder if my ballot's valid. Is there a number I can call, or is there a website I can go to?
Yeah, well, the 2 numbers I gave, so 973-621-4922 or 973-621-5071, which is either the county clerk's office or the Board of Elections. One email is jferry, that's Jennifer Ferry, jferry @clerk.essexcountynj.org. She is actually the point person. She's the director of elections in the county clerk's office. She's the one who produces all of these files of whose ballots have been returned and emails them to campaigns, to candidates, to residents, and they're checked on, did my ballot get received? Here's the date it got received. So that's comforting. Here's another thing. There'll be campaigns contacting voters. If you're being contacted, in 3 weeks from now, that means your ballot hasn't been returned. So what happens is, you come off the file of being contacted. So if you're not being contacted 3 weeks from now, that means your ballot was returned. If you're being contacted, there's a problem. Your ballot has not been received by the Board of Elections. You might not have voted it, or it might not have been, might be lost in the mail.
Thank you, Chris. Rachel, just one more call. Who we got on the line very quickly?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to bring Ms. Tucker in. I think, she may need some help with voting, and then maybe you can wrap right after that.
Okay, all right.
Ms. Tucker?
Okay. Donna Tucker?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Donna Tucker. I've been out of the voting game for a while because I've had surgeries since 2013, and then I had one in 2016. And I haven't been physically able to go out and vote. Not my fault, but I'm trying to make it through. I wasn't able to walk. I had some shots. I'm having a bad back, but I think I...
No, we understand. What's your question, Ms. Tucker?
I'm asking, is my name still in the book for me to go vote?
Right, hold on, Mr. We're going to let our county clerk answer that. Chris?
Well, I think we should take down,
last time I voted, me and my daughter voted on, I think it was, that building on some street up the street in East Orange, the building up there.
Well, we're going to find out.
We have your telephone number.
My name
We have your telephone number.
Yeah, 520-4755.
Okay, we're going to get back to you.
There is a website at the Division of Elections. So if you Googled New Jersey Division of Elections, their website contains a voter search where you just put in your name and address, and it'll tell you whether or not you're registered and where your polling place is. If it doesn't come up, then you're not registered. But I think we should get your name and address, and I can check in the system, or Rachel can check in the system if you're registered.
Yeah,
So, Ms. Tucker, I have your phone number, so I won't give you a call back. I don't want you to say your name and address on the line with 1,000 people, but I have it here in the system, and we can give you a call back.
Okay, I appreciate
I just want to send you this to find out how we can help you.
Right.
Have a good day, Ms. Tucker.
You do the same. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Tucker. Feel free to call the mayor's office also at 973-266-5151. If we can be of any help to assist you, we're going to do our best. So again, thank you for calling. Where we at, Rachel?
We are at the 5-minute mark, sir, so you can take it away.
Okay, I'm going to do this very quickly. I'm going to just let Dr. Matter just say a few words, but then I want to close out with our county clerk very quickly. So, Dr. Matter, what is going on at East Orange General Hospital? And when it comes to some of the folks coming in, coming out, who's being released, just give us a quick scenario of what's happening.
So, the good news is that the number of coronavirus cases have gone down. We are screening all patients when they come in. For admissions, we are screening them for coronavirus at the point of admission so that we make sure that if you do not have coronavirus, we keep you in a safe environment with all staff being taking care of you, taking full care of you. One of the other things that we have started noticing is people have started coming back to the hospital, but they have been delaying their regular non-coronavirus care for so long that they're coming in too late. And this is something that is very important. If you're having shortness of breath, if you're having chest pain, if you're having fevers, do not delay your treatment. Please come to the emergency room if you need to be checked out. The longer you delay, the chances are that you may end up in a worse situation than you started off with, and we want to prevent that. We are also looking at starting some of our elective surgeries as well. So we are ready for you. We have kept a very safe environment. We test you before you go in for your surgery. All the physicians as well as nursing staff has been checked for antibodies, and they are very clean about that. We want to make sure you're in a safe environment as well. We are looking to restart some of our outpatient clinics. We were doing telemedicine for a really long time, and it was going very good. But we are going to start opening up some GYN follow-ups as well, family health follow-ups and bariatric health follow-ups as we go along. Overall, I do want to point out a very good thing that happened during this period of coronavirus. We switched to telemedicine. So what is a great thing is for the child and adolescent psychiatry program, we saw a lot more visits, which means that the kids who were technologically much more advanced were able to make it to their visits. Right. And that is a great thing because there was a huge barrier for them to come to the clinic and be seen by the provider. But now because of technology, we had a significantly high number of televisits for child and adolescent psych, and that was much needed during this time. I think the kids were really stressed out, believe it or not. So it was a great thing that we had that. So all in all, we are cautiously optimistic stance right now. We are worried about the second surge, but at the same time, I see people are a lot more careful. They're wearing their masks around, they're keeping the distance, and just keep doing that. Keep the good stuff on.
And we thank Dr. Amanda for that because he's been with us for the last 13 weeks. County Clerk, any closing remarks? Let me first of all thank you so much for being here with us. All the information that you provided tonight was so valuable because, again, people need to know what to do, where to go, what number to call, and how to do it. And I'm hoping we can bring you back before the election so people can continue to get this information. But I want you to close out with whatever statement, but I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule because I know with all 22 municipalities, everybody pulling on you trying to get this information. So go ahead, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the invitation. I truly appreciate it. I appreciate your friendship. Most of all, I appreciate your service to the people you love with all of your heart in East Orange. I appreciate the privilege of serving the good people of East Orange, of serving the good people of Essex County. And I'll just close by saying this. What we do for ourselves dies with us. What we do for others and the world remains and is immortal. Vote for your community. Vote for all those people who struggled and fought for your right to vote. And Mayor, I can't wait to hug you. I can't wait to hug everyone. I want to hug you now. I want to hug you through this pandemic. And I can't wait till it's over and we're out there again, hand in hand. So thank you so much. I love you.
Thank you. I love you too, Clerk. To our clerk, Chris Durkins, thank you so much. Man, when you said hug, man, I hugged myself and it felt like you hugged me, Chris. So I feel good now. I wish my staff thought about me like that, but Chris, But anyway, we thank you so much. And listen, to all those who tuned in tonight and those who are on Facebook and Instagram, we just want to thank our clerk, but also you heard it from Dr. Griffith and you heard it from Dr. Mehta that these numbers are still going up. So come on, East Orange, I quite often hear folks say that to be a good leader, you have to love the people of your community. And I love y'all more than ever. But I do want all of us to not get complacent, do not feel that it's hot outside, that we're going to just get back to normal. We can't get back to normal right now, right? And we have to make sure those masks, that social distance, I know the governor is opening up, but I'm asking all of you to stay focused for a little longer. We love y'all guys. We're going to tune in next week. Anyone who have any questions or concerns, feel free to call the mayor's office. I gave those numbers out earlier at 973-266-5151. May all you have a blessed evening. And yes, we're going to come back next week with more information. But again, may God bless you. May God bless your families. And may God bless East Orange. Let's go, East Orange. We got that East Orange pride. And we've been doing it for 13 weeks, going on 14 weeks. And we can do it again for another week. So let's do what we have to do. I really appreciate all of you.